Greetings, one and all, from the White Mountains of Arizona. It's a little bit of a gloomy day today, but we are in high spirits because we have a very special channeling lined up for you guys. About several months ago, Tara and I were sitting around doing some spiritual stuff, and we thought to ourselves, who vibes higher than we do? And can we connect with them? And so Tara went into her channeling / meditation state, and we were able to connect with a woman in India. She's in her early 20s. She's blind. She lives on the street. Her face was burned at an early age. Her parents kind of disowned her. So she just lives on the streets in India. And she vibes super high. She's ready to leave this cube matrix. But we were able to communicate with her. And not just her higher self. We believe we were talking to her ego. She's aware that she's talking to us. So we were amazed, we were fascinated, and we wanted to raise her again and talk with her, have a little chat, see what she has to say. But also we wanted to show you guys that when the lights go out, when they turn off the internet, when they shut down the phones, when the power goes down, we can still communicate with each other. We have the ability, we have the power. We have to remove ego to do it, but it can be done. And what better time than now to start practicing? Okay, I've lost Tara. I always do this. Sorry, guys. So yeah, we just want to chat with her and see what she has to say, and basically show you that this is possible. I think it's possible. We think we're talking to her ego. Where did Tara go? Sorry, guys. I don't want this intro to go too long. I want to get to the meat and potatoes, but you kind of have to find your channeler to do so. I'm literally lost. Where is Tara? I walked a long way away, so that was probably my mistake. Oops. Just give me a second here to find her. She can't be too far off. Or can she? This sort of thing happens in the forest. Tara! Oh wait, I think I see her. I think I see her over here. She can't really answer me because she's trying to connect with Mina right now. We may just cut this. Okay. So give me a second to find Tara. There she is. I found her. Okay. Lost you there for a second. Okay, who have we got here?
Mina.
We got Mina. Is it her higher self?
Mostly her ego, but some of it is her higher self, but it's mixed both.
Okay, so it's about 9 p.m. in India right now. So what's she up to?
All she said was Tolarin Babashi.
Okay, she's speaking Hindi to you?
I don't know.
Or is that someone? That was someone's name, surely. Okay, well, hi Mina. We wanted to chat with you and see what you had to say about things. We heard that your face was hurting. What's going on with that?
Sometimes it feels like my face burns, like the first time. Lately, I've been getting nightmares of the burn, the oil, the pain. And I wake up and I'm in pain. And I know they're trying to discourage me. They're trying to lower my vibration. And sometimes it's so much more difficult for me to get back into my meditative state, for me to center myself again when I feel pain. It's not so much anymore, but it's like a throbbing. It's sometimes I feel like I can smell my skin burn.
But Mina, you know the senses aren't real. They're just illusion.
Yes, I know. And I've been working on so much to reprogram that. I know it's dream, I know it's illusion, but lately it's like almost like I've regressed. But yet my knowledge hasn't regressed, just the feeling, the sensation. And I know they're trying to get me through this feeling. They're trying to get people through pain. Through pain is when sometimes things are not so clear, but I'm trying to get to that point of clarity when sometimes things are so painful you do see clearly. I'm trying to find that peace, that light within it.
Well, this is probably a big thing for your ego, was that trauma. Are you willing to go back to that time and learn the lessons and heal and forgive?
Yes, of course. I'm something that I work on. I forgive my parents, I forgive my brother, I forgive all of them, and I try to learn the lesson, all the layers of the lesson. I know that there's so many layers, not just for this lifetime, but also for previous lifetimes where the pain is similar, not burning, but a similar pain. To feel wrong about oneself, to feel bad about yourself. Because if you hate the self, then it's hard to see your light within. And I know that that's what they're preying on. They know that this is perhaps for me, my last biggest hurdle is to be sometimes feeling unwanted, alone, and as if what I'm doing has no purpose. I know that this is a lie, is what I'm working on. But sometimes it's difficult when my face hurts.
But you talked about forgiving everyone, but you didn't mention yourself for creating this reality.
I try to work on that too.
Isn't that the most important part of the forgiveness?
Yes, yes, it is. Lord Ganesh, he teaches this. Just look at his missing tooth.
Oh, so do you know about my tooth? I'm going through a similar thing right now.
Yes, and people do not look down on Lord Ganesh because of his tooth, but instead they look up to him because of what happened, because of this missing tooth. You don't need to know the mythology other than it is what he went through, how he learned from it, how he grew from it. It is, I know, a many of the mythologies are human constructs, but still there is light in those mythologies. There's light in those lessons as much as there is programming and darkness. And the same goes for your tooth. I know that there is programming within it, those programmed thoughts, but at the same time, there's so much light. That's why it must be very painful, it may seem. I can only imagine. We do share a pain at this moment. But as you just told me and reminded me, the senses are not real. They're trying to lower your vibration of self. What is going on with the self? Get you back into your body instead of into your soul.
Very wise. Are you aware that we're recording this for other people?
Yes, yes, I was very excited. I don't get to speak to obviously many people on the streets, but I'm not mostly speaking to people on the street. It is more telepathic. I connect to people all over the world and we speak. So it is an interesting thing to speak like this. I've never been recorded in my whole life, in my whole 3D life.
Well, you're gonna
No
have
pictures, nothing.
you're gonna have several hundred people watching this, and you get to speak directly to their egos. What would you like to tell them?
What is going on in your soul? This push and pull, tug and or like tug of war. with old things coming up, perhaps old people from the past, not necessarily that they're old, but the past is coming back. That's phone calls out of nowhere, people acting strange, and it is because that you are meant to see that you're creating that reality. You are bringing your past back to you on purpose so that you can heal from it, so that you can see what you had created in order to make it to this point. And it is in this point that truly matters what you're doing here. And for your past to show you that if you were to try to go back to that time where that person and you existed, perhaps that friendship or relationship existed, if you were to go back right now to that time, it would feel awkward. It wouldn't fit because it's not meant to. You don't fit in that world anymore. You only fit right now. Just like myself, if I were to go back to the time before my face was burned and I lost my sight, I wouldn't fit. I don't care if my sight, my 3D false sight was restored and my face, would people say, beautiful again. I would still be me. I would still be the Mina you're speaking to, and it would feel wrong, fake, false, awkward. So it doesn't matter what you try to fix on yourself or how you try to keep your youth or beautify. You're holding on to something that doesn't exist, and you'll always be unhappy until you are in the present. If you're always striving for something that once was, you'll always find yourself unhappy.
Wow. You were kind of disowned by your family, yet you still show them love and give whatever little money you make on the street to them. Can you talk about that and how you're able to spread so much love?
Yes, I mean, my mother and father, they're not in this spiritual path with me. They're on their own path, but it's not the same as mine. They don't know what ascension is. They don't know about what a matrix is. They don't know about leaving these things. They think it is crazy Mina is talking. They don't know these things. And I wouldn't wish to force my belief system onto them because I don't live in their point of view reality. So why would I try to change their reality? I don't want them to change mine. So I only look at them as, well, I chose them to bring me here, and they were here to teach me some lessons. Why on earth would I show anger or have vengeance against something that I chose for myself? I am in this predicament, I guess you can call it that, because of the choices that I made. And to have any sort of not wanting to help them, anything like that, means I don't want to help myself. But I do want to help myself, which means I must help everyone else as well, because they're just a body. And what I truly see now that I have no eyes is that they are soul.
Hmm, beautiful. What advice can you give people about removing the ego since you've done so much of that work?
I would say try to truly understand it. What is its purpose? When you feel these, many of you know ego thoughts. When you have these ego thoughts, what purpose are they really serving? Yes, maybe a thought might come in. Let's say for me, for instance, I might have an ego thought say, oh, you pathetic girl. But where does that really come from? What if this is a program and it is a computer? What is the computer trying to relay to me? Well, to type in, you pathetic girl, is obviously trying to lower the self esteem, is trying to get them to look at their body, trying to get them to look at that one emotion as if that one emotion of sorrow and self pity is something that defines them in their entirety. Instead, you look at this and say, the ego is bringing up my own self pity. Where does this pity come from? Ah, that I was raised to have pity for people on the street, as if there was something wrong with them, as if there must be one way for all people to live, but this is erroneous. And I thank the program for showing me this. And once you understand the language of the ego program, it is so much easier to disarm that program and manipulate it to your will instead of the reverse.
Hmm. The Matrix really did not want this channeling to happen. They're sending rain, flies, they broke Tara's bracelet, they're making us feel ill. Why do you think that is, and what can we learn about this channeling today?
Well, all the Matrix can do is mess with your five senses. If you are annoyed with bugs, it's because you see the bug, you feel the bug, perhaps you hear the bug. But what if all those senses were taken away? Then there would be no bug. The same goes for the weather, the same goes for things breaking. If you had no senses, how would you know the bracelet broke or that there was rain upon your face? You wouldn't. And all that you would have left is the soul itself. So, really, they're manipulating your senses. That is all.
So, would you say you've had an advantage from losing your sight? You've had less senses to worry about?
I suppose it was a kickstart. I could say that it is aided me, but I don't want to use it as a crutch either to rely on there being no sight. And it's not that I don't have sight. I still see differentiation between light and dark. I know that when something is passing in front of my point of view.
You have so little ego, you're almost out of here. What are your plans? Are you going to stay on Earth without your ego, or are you going to ascend? What do you want to do?
Well, I want to see the inner workings of the matrix itself. I want to see exactly where the souls come in, how the souls exit, how other souls look when they're ascending. I want to see outside of the box. I want to see what 3D looks like with no box. Also, I want to go back to the light, your source. I just want to be whole with all again, to be able to feel all beings of this universe within me, which you can in this form. It's just a little more difficult, but to be ultimately free. I think I think I am all done in this TV show.
Well, I can maybe answer one question. We've learned that souls are coming in through the sun. That's a doorway to outside the cube.
I was curious about this. I knew something about the sun. Where I live, the sun is very special. You see this within our religions, you see this within our mythologies. You see something behind every picture in people's homes. Let's say Lord Krishna, and there's like this light behind him. Everyone feels like this is the sun, like, oh, all higher intelligence comes from the sun. And I know that everything is false. So I just figured that this is source energy, but so standing behind these great beings are people flooding in, but you can't see them because you're blinded by the deity dripping in gold in front of you. Very interesting.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what we've learned. Wow. Mina, we love you so much. We're so happy to call you a friend. We're glad to be on this ascension journey with you. Would you like to say any last messages for the people before we go?
Mm, I wouldn't mind more friends. If you see this and you would like to make a friend with me, I don't have all the answers, but I'm happy to share what I know, and I would love to hear what you know. And let's make a phone call. Sheesh, sheesh.
Wow, what a beautiful human.
Ugh.
Yeah, they have sent the hordes of mosquitoes and flies and gnats on us.
Oh my gosh,
They
I
have
got lots of
descended
ants.
upon us.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Matrix didn't want that channeling to happen, for sure.
Wow. Well, that was fun.
They're
I
gonna
got
try
to
to,
be Mina.
yeah, they're gonna try to sever our means of communication. They're gonna sever the power at some point during this ascension. They're gonna sever the internet. So we have to learn how to do this so we can stay in communication and share what we've learned.
Yeah, I mean, there's already people I know that I talk to on the internet that are, you know, pretty afraid of what happens when the communication goes down. You know, what we won't know what's happening over there. I won't know if you're okay. What happens if there's no cell phones? What happens if we don't have our computers and the internet? And I think that's the fear state they want us to be in. Like, we're reliant on them to communicate with each other. We rely on them for our transportation and everything. But it's like, well, there was a whole world before there was transportation and the communication as we know it, and a whole group of people that ascended, you know, not needing all of that stuff. So I think it's a getting back to who we were and are, which is the soul.
Right.
Yes.
I think the lower polarity of the split is going to be completely dependent on technology, whereas the higher polarity of the split is going to be totally they don't need it. They don't need technology.
Yeah,
We
and
have the
I mean, it's just the light and dark in both halves of ourselves, you know. So, you know, you got one half that is basically doing all the learning for the lower polarity for us, you know, and we're doing all the learning for, you know, the light polarity. It's, you know, everybody's got their polarity, everybody's got their learning.
Well, I can't wait to speak to Mina again. She has so much wisdom and knowledge and is willing to share. Did you notice your face was all scrunched up that whole channeling? The
A
side of your
little
face?
bit. It's so hot over here.
Yeah, that was your side of your face was all like burnt.
My
almost.
face is hot.
Like you let her in a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Well, I highly encourage all of you to try to connect with Mina during your meditations. She's willing. She's sitting on the streets just meditating most of the day,
Yeah.
so you won't bother her.
She's a great person. I mean, she's got a quirky sense of humor, but also she's got a lot of wisdom, you know. And we might think, oh, you know, she's only like whatever 20 some years old, but it has nothing to do with her age.
It's about how much ego you've removed.
Yeah.
And she's removed a huge chunk, more than we have.
Yeah. So she's rad. Give her a call.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're curious, what did you guys think of that channeling? Let us know if you end up connecting to her, and if you want to share what your conversation was like, things that you learned, things you shared with her. We'd love to hear about it. And yeah, I guess we will catch you guys next time. Thank you to everybody who's done one-on-one channelings with me. I've been happy to connect to everybody's higher selves and all these different energies.
The one we did yesterday was intense.
That was awesome.
She was incredible.
I was definitely really hot after that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, those have been great. I appreciate each and every one of them, and I would enjoy doing one for you. So anyway, we will catch you guys next Monday. All right.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.